Okay.
You know.
Yeah. You don't need to talk for 25 minutes.
A-E-I-O-U.
Yeah. Action.
Okay. All right. So what I'm looking forward to most this year is I've added a new property
Take two.
Yep.
This week on the White Knuckle Web Show, we join the White Knuckle crew at our annual get-together in Iowa. With all of us in one place, we wanted to know, what are your goals for the upcoming whitetail season?
I'm pretty sure it's a yes, it is.
My God, he's a giant. The shot looked good.
It's all I want every year right there. Look at this thing.
What do you think of that?
That is huge.
Bam!
Perfect. Came right in.
What are we looking forward to? Getting back in a tree. This time of year, you just kind of start to get the itch. You're looking at trail camera pictures, starting to see the bucks that, you know, you're developing your hit list, watching those bucks grow throughout the summer. Just kind of getting excited to get back in a tree, try to get after some of those deer. So,
well, really my main focus this year I think is going to be on the jawbreaker buck, just trying to get, you know, if I haven't really decided whether I'm going to try to shoot him or not, but really to get some real good video of him, you know, with me in the tree and him working the rub, and maybe try to get a second angle trail cam video all at the same time, kind of like I did a couple of years ago.
Well, that's the buck we call jawbreaker right there. It's a tough one there. Perfect setup. I mean, perfect. Just to prove that I could shoot him, I'll draw him.
And there's 2 or 3 other bucks in the area that are near his caliber, so I have other bucks to choose from. A couple of 160 type 10 pointers that, you know, I'd probably really rather shoot just on account of maybe give jawbreaker another year. I don't know. I'll just have to wait. You know, I'll decide that when he's under the tree, I guess.
well, I'm coming into this year with more, I'm going to call it a different philosophy, in that at this point I do not have a particular buck that I've spotted, that I've seen. I don't really have much that I think I have any history with. We'll see what shows up, but it's been that kind of summer so far. So I've kind of been bracing myself more for, by the time season starts, I'm looking to find out what the best buck I think is there, and then basically make that my goal for the season.
So far this summer, blast from the past, I've gotten pictures of Tom Petty, which was a really wide, nice 9-pointer last year. This year he's the same thing. He's really wide, not real tall tines, but he's one of those potential bucks. And then I also have a buck that I call C3PO. And we filmed him last year. I passed him as a beautiful 4-year-old, about 145-inch deer. This year he's a big 8-pointer.
All right, what I'm looking forward to most this year is I'm actually going to be hunting 2 new states, and it's a little more well planned out and thought out and things like that. I'm going to be hunting a suburban property in a state that's not my own, so I'm not real familiar with it, but I'm excited for that style of hunting. Mike and I back home in Kentucky, we picked up a new lease, and it's more of a land management thing. I don't know how this year is going to turn out, but it's a building year. We're hoping that we can eventually get more local resident deer to stay on that property. So it's a lot of work. So we're not really expecting a whole lot out of that lease this year. Years to come.
We are after a couple of bucks out in suburbia that I have every reason to believe they're still alive. There's virtually no gun hunting there at all. So, and really not a whole lot of hunting in general. So pretty much if we don't kill it, it's probably still alive. So we got Adam Sandler, big old massive buck, not going to score real well. He's actually, seems like he's on the downhill side. I mean, from the year previous to last year, he went downhill a lot. So I don't know if he's just way older than we think, I think our biggest problem was last year we had it pretty bad for the codger, and we spent a lot of time pursuing that deer. We put a lot of effort into food plots. We put, hung some new sets, and I think to be honest with you, I think we put all of our eggs in one basket. And I think we neglected some of our other spots where we had potential of killing some other just big giant bucks. And
we got a couple bucks on the properties that we hunt. One of them kind of carry over from last year. Big 10-pointer that we called Bucky. Really nice, clean 10-pointer. The last trail camera picture we have from him is a few weeks old already, but he's looking real nice. He was probably 150s last year. We expect him to be at least that, if not a little bit bigger. Doesn't look like he blew up a whole lot. He's not going to be a 220-inch deer, maybe not even 180, but he's going to be pretty good.
His brow tines are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
He went from 4 or 5 inch brow tines last year, which were pretty impressive. This year, I mean, they look like they're probably close to 8 or 9 inches tall. They're by far the most dominant feature on him. But the rest of the rack is really good too. So he's number one so far this summer. It would take something special to pass him.
What are my expectations for the season? I honestly don't really have any right now. After last year, I killed the Rusty Nail and Eric Dickerson, and my number one goal is probably to have fun. Maybe do some management on my own farm. This year, this was the summer of food plots for me. I tried to change my property and just create as many opportunities to bring in as many deer as I could. And I'm really looking for one buck only. And his name is DL. And he's a ghost buck. We've only gotten a couple trail camera pictures of him. I found the sheds to him when he was 3. And last year's a 4-year-old, Kyle and I got some beautiful footage of him when we were hunting Rusty Nail. And when he came in, I thought he was a shooter, but when we look back at the footage, he had those long brow tines, and through the brush, you could just catch him his movement and know that it was him. And I believe last year he was a 4-year-old, and as a 4-year-old, he was probably around 160, low 160s. He's the buck that I'm more excited to see what he turns into, but because of where he lives, I won't probably get a chance to see him until we literally move in to his core area to hunt him.
I've got a lot to look forward to. Big changes for myself and my family. We're moving to Iowa, so no more waiting 4 years to draw that tag and nail a gigantic deer in the antlers and
lucky dogs.
Yeah.
Just missed the biggest deer of my entire life.
No, and a lot like John, it's gonna be a building year for me also. I have 0 properties up here that are my own to hunt, so I'm gonna be kind of beating on some doors. That's right.
Hello.
Brush my teeth first,
Can I bring you some milk and sugar?
Yep. I'm gonna be looking for some place to hunt.
This year for the first time in a long time, we've got a deer that's at least 4.5 years old, have no history with him at all. Don't know a whole lot about him. I've got a couple trail camera pictures of him. We'll see how the rest of the summer goes. It's still really early in the game, but it's just going to be kind of wait and see. We hunt in an area where there's just a lot of pressure, and it seems like any given year anything can happen at any time. There's good deer around, not always great deer around, so really it's just a wait and see game. We'll do what we can right now with planting food plots and preparing for the season like we always do, but like Dave said, just a little bit different philosophy in terms of not going after just one deer, because it seems like whenever we decide to go after one deer, that deer isn't there. So it's just going to be a wait and see and just enjoy ourselves, I guess.
This year, I think what I'm looking forward to is kind of refocusing on things. The codgers, he was a kind of a few year
pursuit, so he's out of the game now. So you know, maybe we get that out of our head and start focusing on, you know, some new things. There's another buck out on Suburbia that's flapjack, kind of a short-tined 9-pointer. We're thinking he's a 4-year-old. He might have been 5 last year, and he was there pretty regularly actually. Towards the later part of, well, mid-October, he was there pretty consistently, daytime movement too. So I think that's a deer, you know, maybe we could get on. Yeah. Again, none of these deer are great genetic deer. It's more of an age class thing, I think, for this year again.
We have deer. We do on these properties. They exist. They're brown.
They have white tails.
They do have white tails.
Some of them even have antlers.
Occasionally, there's an antler. Yep. Fawns, spots, not going to shoot those. Those are off limits. Old does, we are going to go after hard this year.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this fall. It's been a good wet year and pretty mild winter, and I think it's looking like a real good year for antler growth. And we're kind of coming out of the EHD that we had a couple of years ago, and the bucks are getting a little age on them again, and it should be a real good year.
When you try to mask your odor with another scent elimination product, you end up smelling like urine from various animals. When you smell like various animal urine, you attract every animal except the whitetails that you're looking for. When you attract all sorts of animals, they follow you through the woods. And when they follow you through the woods, you run to get away. When you run to get away, you trip over the log that you didn't notice. Don't smell like various animal urine. Use Ozonics, the new leader in scent control.
I've been shooting an elite bow for 5 years now, and even whenever I have had an issue that was my own fault, I called them up, had a real big hunt coming up. The next day, I had brand new cams for my bow. I don't know a lot of other manufacturers out there that would do that for just anybody.
I like elite bows just on account of the smoothness of the draw, and you know, it's almost unbelievable how easy they are to hold after you get past your peak weight or whatever. It's just the first time I drew the Serenergy and tried to let it down, I thought it was locked in place or whatever. And that's pretty cool. You can, you know, it's just no stress. You don't have to worry about a jumpy cam, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
You know, I've tried to convince my wife over several years to let me get a new bow, because I told her that's what was holding me back. And I mean, it's clearly what it is. So this year I have the Synergy, so I'm not being held back anymore. To be honest with you, I'm shooting a Boone Crockett, so that's pretty cool.